You're a large ingredient company. You're here amongst a broad range of early stage companies, some that are even pre-revenue.
Sure.
Why was it important for you guys to be here this year, and you particularly?
At Griffith Foods, we've always taken a look at kind of our value chain, which is the way we describe it as sourcing. We source raw materials directly from the farm, and in some cases to the developing part of our value chain, which is what we do as a product development company. We help our customers design and develop products and then provide some of the ingredients that go into those products. So the development part of the value chain is critically important for us. And then there's the making. We manufacture some of our ingredients, and delivery, everything to do with the customer and ultimately the consumer. And our belief is that technology has a significant role to play across this entire value chain, every part of it, in accelerating impact, financial impact, as well as impact of what the business is doing. And so we've long believed that technology has a significant role there. So we created a company called Nourish Ventures, which is a wholly owned subsidiary within the Griffith Foods family, essentially to have a dedicated focus in the startup and venture community, in food tech and ag tech. And Nourish Ventures is a sponsor of this event, and the entire team is here. Working with partners, companies that we've invested in, companies that we have relationships with, and we're playing a very active role.
A lot of the companies I'm talking to still talk about purpose being such an incredibly important reason that they're in business. I think at Griffith, purpose has been a huge part of your orientation and has shaped a lot of where you're going in the future. So tell me a little about where you're at on that journey and the important role it's played.
We have been in business, this is year 104. So we're a family-owned, privately held company headquartered in Chicago, operating in about 45 odd countries. And about a little more than 7 years ago is when we took a step back and decided to ask ourselves the why question. Why do we exist as a company? And that started us on the purpose journey. And I like to say to the team that we were trying to excavate our purpose before purpose became a sexy word. And we got to a point where we said, here's how we want to describe our purpose. And the way we describe our purpose is that there are two parts to it. The first part is, what do we believe we're good at? So we've been in the business of blending ingredients and recipes ever since we were founded. And over the last 100 odd years, we've gathered experience and expertise and skill sets in the area of blending. So that's the first part of our purpose. The second part is, how do we take that which we're good at, that set of experiential skills, if you will, and parlay it into meeting a need in the world. Lots of needs in the world. The one that we're choosing to hone in on as a food company that we believe we can make a contribution toward is the concept of nourishing the world. So that's the second part of our purpose statement. So we blend care and creativity to nourish the world. So that was the first part of this journey, if you will, articulating our purpose. Then what we said is that's great. It's a nice slogan. What we've been on the journey on since then is, how do we take that and start living that so that it's something that is tangible, that everyone in the organization is signed up for, if you will. And that's been a journey for the last few years. The way that's manifested itself is that has a significant impact on the way we do things today. Our commitment internally is that everything, at some point, we should be able to honestly say to ourselves that everything that we do as a company is either driven by or connected to our purpose. Are we there yet? The answer is absolutely no. But that has driven our strategy. We need more purpose-ready, fit-for-purpose people in the organization as a whole. That has implications from the standpoint of talent, acquisition of talent, retention of talent, organization, structure, et cetera. Are we structured the right way? The way we're structured today, the people that we have, we're all fit for purpose of the past. Are we fit for purpose moving forward in the future? Our preferred method is to make sure that people are developed from within the organization to be more attuned to where we're going, not so much for where we come from. And obviously underlying all of that is culture, which is one of those things that, and you know this better than most, it's one of those things that's hard to define, but still we have to be very intentional about it.
How have you stayed fit for purpose? How have you evolved? You've been almost 7 years now as CEO of the company. How have you changed?
The way I look at it is I go back to my childhood and two analogies come to mind. One is teeter-totter. or seesaw, as it's known in other parts of the world. I see my role has evolved into kind of being the person that needs to make sure that the fulcrum is in the right place. It's not always in the middle. Things evolve. So sometimes to achieve the balance, the fulcrum needs to move, if you will. And the other is the job of connecting the dots. And the way I look at it is that it's my job to help the organization connect the dots between our purpose, what does that mean from the standpoint of the organization, and make sure that that right image, which is the intended image, is actually the output of the dot connection, if you will.
The food industry, I think this is probably one of the most exciting times in the past 20 years. It's changed so much. What are you most excited about for the future, for the food industry, for the ecosystem around it?
We, as a food industry, we are experiencing an emergency in slow motion. If we continue to grow, process, make food the way we're doing today, even though there have been significant improvements, by 2050, feeding 10 billion people, we're just not going to be able to do that. There's going to be a land gap. Land on which food is grown is not growing anytime soon. If anything, it's shrinking, and that will continue to be a gap. Climate gap. 75% of greenhouse gas emissions come from agriculture, which is the foundation of food. And that's going to continue to worsen. And it's fair to say that the conclusion, if you were to kind of take stock, it's fair to say that this is a situation where the glass is really more than half empty. Now there is a recognition that something needs to be done, but more exciting is that there are tangible solutions. Examples, where we're talking back to the value chain. From a sourcing standpoint, use of technology in sourcing. We're talking about precision agriculture, et cetera. So that solves the land gap, et cetera. And that's the part that excites me personally, as well as the company, which is now we have things to hang our hat on to.